The New England Patriots just got enticing news. Let's talk about it. My name is Aaron on the daily Patriots content right here. Don't miss out. All you got to do, subscribe, notification bell, and hey, it's Friday. Let's be positive. Hit the like button. I truly appreciate it. Today, what we're talking about, the running back battle, very enticing. We're going to jump into that as well. We're going to talk about right now the Patriots. Where do they land in power rankings for most people? We're going to jump into that. And my question off the bat is this, as we get to that in the end of the episode. Do you think right now, Patriots playoff team or not? Why or why not? Comment below. So first, what we're jumping into, second round draft pick, TreVeyon Henderson. The Patriots see the value in him. That's common sense. We saw in Forge with Foxborough, the first episode, second one coming out, I believe the 18th. They came out and said, listen, we saw behind the scene footage. They could have traded that pick. They didn't. Why? Because they valued TreVeyon Henderson so much in this offense, on this team as well. And a viewer, I wish I pulled the comment up, a viewer said, listen, this league is turning into teams having two caliber starting running backs. That's true. Ramondre, I still have hope in, and TreVeyon Henderson, who is there as well. Now, if you look at it, we still have Antonio Gibson as well, which I think can add a lot of value to this team. There's also Land Larison. A lot of people think that he has potential to make this team. Again, as of right now, I'm looking at this running back room, and I think that Land Larison is a practice squad guy right now. Yes, he got paid a lot for a undrafted free agent, over, I believe it was $250,000 guaranteed, which is a lot of money. But again, I see him as a practice squad guy. If he makes the roster, it's for special teams. It's not he's going to get touches, because when you have Ramondre Stevenson, who's hopefully having a comeback year, TreVeyon Henderson that has a ton of potential, and I think will surpass Antonio Gibson on the depth chart to be running back number 2 and get a bulk of the carries with Ramondre. And then you got Antonio Gibson, who will, get in there every once in a while. But you look at what TreVeyon Henderson has to offer. And the one thing I love to say, if you watch the national championship game, Ohio State, Notre Dame, one of the best plays, I believe it was at the end of the first half, they do a little pass in the flats to TreVeyon Henderson, and he runs it in for 75 yards. The man can play football. The man is explosive, not only north and south, but also east and west. The man can move. Yards after contact is huge as well. TreVeyon Henderson is going to be a problem for other teams, for defense is going to be a huge problem. And I think when we look at Ramondre, again, I'm not sold that Ramondre is washed up. He's done. I'm not. I think he's going to be fine. If you've watched this show, you know that I think it's the chip on the shoulder factor. It's the, hey, I want to prove people wrong factor. It's what Stefon Diggs has been preaching the past handful of months, ever since he's been picked up by the Patriots, is I want to prove people wrong. Ramondre Stevenson, he hasn't necessarily came out and said that, but I think that is his mindset. I hope that is his mindset, especially with the extension he got. And we talked about it the other day too, how a lot of people think it was foolish that the Patriots gave him that extension. And that only adds to being able to see that multiple people think, hey, he's overpaid. Again, in a league that devalues running backs, when one lands for you, and Ramondre, again, has shown things, has shown glimpses, you got to give him the money. You got to try. And he does have that potential. Again, that doesn't mean if TreVeyon Henderson is outperforming him, that doesn't mean he doesn't lose his job. It's the best players on the field. Mike Vrabel is going to preach it. Josh McDaniels is going to preach it. But we're talking about all these big time players who have been drafted for the Patriots. Again, I'm super high on Kyle Williams. And just yesterday we talked about as well, not drafted obviously, Mac Hollins, but these other players that are kind of falling between the cracks that a lot of people aren't talking about, because a lot of times people talk about the big ticket guys. So the Drake Mays, the Stephon Diggs, because everyone knows who he is. He was arguably one of the best wide receivers in the NFL for a handful of years, obviously tore his ACL, and he's kind of brought it back down to earth a little bit in that sense. But again, still has a ton of potential. So those are the big thing, and obviously the whole drama thing with the boat in the bag and all that stuff. But so then all these other players kind of fall through the cracks. But TreVeyon Henderson, and if you look at a lot of fantasy drafts, he is very, very, very undervalued. And I'm not saying, and I've said this one before as well, this offensive line isn't the best in the NFL. I'm not saying that. But it is significantly upgraded. And you know Josh McDaniels knows what he's working with. And they are going to get a run game going. They're going to get a solid pass game going. And these running backs not only are going to be getting carries, but they're going to be getting passes out of the backfield. So I think things are looking up as well in that sense. So TreVeyon Henderson, don't sleep on him. I know a lot of you aren't, but don't forget about it. I think a lot of people are. Second round draft pick, going to surprise people this year. Comment below. Tell me what you think. Now, my computer's been being weird lately. I can't pull up certain things. I got to get it fixed. You're going to laugh at me. I'm a millennial. But technologically, I'm on that lower end. If you're in that boat with me, comment below as well. Technologically, there's certain things that I get, I understand. There's other things, so it's like, for some people it's easy, or like older people, they expect, oh, you're a millennial, you must know how to fix this technology. No, I don't. Again, I teach PE. I have my buddy help me set this up because I was like, hey, I want to do it. It sounds fun. And sometimes I know exactly what I'm doing. Sometimes I mess it up. So it is what it is. We're fixing things. We're learning as we go. But anyways, the last article that I had brought up was the power rankings of obviously all the NFL teams, and it had the New England Patriots at 21. I think that's respectable at the moment. I think it's very hesitant of, okay, listen, they've done much better. They had a great offseason, obviously, in free agency, in the draft. And the most important, probably, obviously, is the coaching staff with Mike Vrabel at the helm. So a lot of things have changed. So I think 21 is respectable. But I would say more realistically, it's that fringe playoff team, you know? And so, again, I think that is going to be the most interesting, one of the most interesting stories moving forward. Below them were the Jets. Above them, projected in the power rankings to do better, were the Dolphins, which I was surprised to see. But again, it's all objective. It's subjective. It's all subjective based on, you know, what people see, what people think. And obviously there's biases in there, and you're probably saying, well, Aaron, as a Patriots fan, you're being biased. Yeah, probably. But also too, they don't look into the Patriots as much as, you know, if they're kind of doing a superficial glance of all these teams, like kind of like flyover. I don't know. I don't think that gives every team, especially a team like the Patriots, the proper due diligence to, you know, fully understand, like, hey, they did some massive upgrades. Even in this article, they mention, okay, they got Will Campbell. Great. They don't bring up TreVeyon Henderson. They don't bring up Kyle Williams. They don't bring up the other guys on the offensive line. They don't bring up literally anyone on defense. So again, it is what it is. And eventually they got to play. They got to play anyways. I know everyone's going to say, Aaron, they got to play. It's June. I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to spark interest, spark conversation, all that fun stuff. So anyways, tell me what you guys think. TreVeyon Henderson, Patriots playoff team right now, yay or nay? Comment below. Technology, I'll get it fixed. Don't worry. We'll talk later. Peace.